Join us at Pole Pole, where Dorcas shows us a new perspective of what the African community is doing now.
Hello Australia, today I got my queen on, the crown is up, the style is set, and yes, we're celebrating fashion. This is Oz African TV, I'm Dorcas Utkovic, and welcome to the show. In the tent, to kick things off, I'll be joined by the multi-talented Natasha Jynel, and then we're off to FreekA Runway, an incredible fashion event that forms part of Melbourne's Spring Fashion Week. And if you'd like to know more about this crown of mine, you'll be pleased to know that Charmaine Idris will be joining me later on. Before all that fun, let's go to the kitchen and check in with Chef Stolley. Come on. Hey Chef Stolley, what are you making today?
Today I'm making a South African favorite, Biltong.
You can cook with us by jumping on our website to download your recipe and shopping list with ingredients that you can buy from your local supermarket. So do you guys make it from scratch here?
Yes, we do. We make all our Biltong in-house and with local produce.
Yum. Okay, so what do you put in it? See, I'm used to it being just ready to go, you know what I mean?
Yes, we use three spices, coriander, black pepper, and chili flakes. We cure it in a salt and sugar base and red wine vinegar with a little bit of liquid smoke for flavor.
Oh, it sounds so delicious. I'll come back and check with you in a little bit. But for now, let's go to the tent and meet my next guest. She's a creative director, fashion icon, an incredible performer, and most recently, producer of her personal life journey in a form of stage play, the Autobio Queen. I'm talking about Natasha Jynel, who joins me now. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Dorcas.
Hey, girl.
Hey, how you going?
Good, how are you?
Oh, you know, pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
So, before we get into your play,
Yes.
which I'm hanging for,
Yeah.
can you tell me, I mean, fashion plays such an incredible role in your life. Can you tell me how important it is for you and your identity and what you do?
Well, the majority of the work that I do in terms of creative direction for fashion is always about increasing the representation of women of color, people of Indigenous and ethnically diverse backgrounds, people with disabilities, people with queer identities, transgender, non-conforming. Because to me, it's the most important thing is that everyone should be included. I think there's a big conception that fashion needs to be exclusive and also that fashion is tied to wealth. So my most important things are breaking down those ideologies. All of the work that I do is about making sure that people have as much opportunity as possible to see the possibilities. Because it's about, to me, fashion is about playing and having fun. And it can also be a really aggressive act of self-love to not buy into kind of mainstream ideas around, trying to change yourself to fit into an ideal. No, make your own thing.
And tell me about your personal journey in the play that you produced.
Oh, yes.
The Autobio Queen.
Autobio Queen started a while ago, and it started with a short film called Hope. So I've got two tattoos on my hands. On my right hand, it says Hope, and on my left hand, it says Pray with an E.
Yeah.
So it's because everything in life I touch with hope, but I always have a reminder of when I was vulnerable and I would have needed it. So hope for the prey, hope for those who are vulnerable. So the film that I started was called Hope, so it touched on my ideologies around hope and the important role that it has in healing through trauma and pain and loss and everything else, and finding your way back to family and connection and self-identity. So it started there, and at the time it was a really great film to help me and my family kind of start to reconnect. But I also knew that it was something a lot bigger than that, and it was very scary to tackle. And I didn't know how to do it. So I did that thing where I put it on a shelf for a few years, but in my head it was always still percolating. And luckily, I've had very beautiful people in my life who, whether through performance or through writing or through teaching or through workshops or through over coffee, stories have come up and experiences have come up that have kind of cemented to me the fact that while my journey is my own, there's a lot of connections for other people because, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We've all experienced loss and trauma, pain, suffering. And if you haven't, get ready because it's going to be fun. Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I wanted to take the next step and not just share my story, but invite people to engage with it. So I wanted to move it from film to something that was lived, so that people would come there and share that journey with me and when I say with me, with us, because that was the other part of it. I didn't want it to be just me sitting up there telling a story.
Yeah.
So I brought in a lot of cabaret performers, burlesque performers, drag queens from around Melbourne, around Australia, really, like Zelia Rose, Mojo Juju, Karen from Finance, Frankie Valentine, just to name a few. But it's because there are things that happen in life that cut through lines of race, gender, sexuality, religion, that cut through all of that stuff. And it comes down to who we are as people and about finding a way to connect with each other and share.
Well, I look forward to seeing that. You can check out all the listings on our website for when it comes in the future. As you said, you want to, bring it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And just quickly before we go, tell me about, who's your biggest fashion icon?
RuPaul.
Yes.
Get a queen. Yes, good. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tash, for coming. I really appreciate it. And if you want to find out more about Tash, go on our website. We'll put some links to all her performances and you can keep up with her on her social pages. And while you're there, feel free to check our Facebook page, Twitter and Instagram. But for now, we're off to some more fashion at FreekA Runway.
Yes!
I'm at 2 Ton Max in North Melbourne, where FreekA Runway is about to get underway. And if their inaugural show from last year is anything to go by, then we're in for a treat. So let's go inside and check it out.
The touch, feeling something deep inside.
Is this your first time at FreekA Runway?
No, this is actually my second time.
It's actually only my first time, so it'll be my debut tonight.
Who are you walking for?
I'm working for JVP.
FreekA is very multicultural. I got involved because I'm half Zimbabwean and half Australian, and I thought it would be an awesome time to really promote the multiculturalism in Melbourne. Yeah.
Yes, it is indeed, and we'll be watching you, and good luck tonight.
Thanks a lot.
Hello, I'm Pam Darragh, and I'm an event coordinator from the City of Melbourne for Melbourne Spring Fashion Week, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here. I think it's so exciting.
Well, now I am joined by Marty, Tubby, and Palmer. Welcome. Now I'll ask you, because you are the creative brain behind this whole thing, do you want to tell us a little bit more about the inspiration of today's show?
Okay. Well, essentially, the theme of today's show is gold, with an emphasis on mining. So essentially, we wanted to paint a picture of the whole process, the beautification of gold as a mineral. Gold as a color is beautiful, but there's a story behind it. So we wanted to highlight the fact that, with everything that's beautiful, it goes through a process, right? So with gold, it starts in the earth, it's dirty, it's ugly, but it's refined, it's beautified, and it becomes everything that people want to look at. And we just said, look, this applies to life, Don't look at the end product, but look at the process and the journey.
You've been nominated as the best blogger of the year? Blogger of the year?
Yeah, so
Zimbabwean.
We're actually all from Zimbabwe. Yeah, so my blog's been nominated as Zimbabwean Blogger of the Year. So I guess how this all fits in is, so Lantandra is actually formed by myself and Tabi, who's my husband. So really, along with Button Brothers, we formed the FreekA team. So Lantandra, I guess, is how it all started for me. So I started off just blogging, taking pictures. Somehow I started meeting all these amazing people, designers, being a blogger, you end up styling, you end up being on shoots, and you start meeting designers. And I was like, people need to see this.
I know.
People need to see this. We need to do something, especially emerging designers. Like, I feel like there's just so much out there and so much that's so untapped. And really, through blogging, we've been able to come together, even with Button Brothers, and form FreekA Runway.
Yeah, awesome. And Palmer, as March is mentioning, Button Brothers.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about, your role in this whole thing?
Button Brothers, again, like Lantandro, started small, but we're growing as a business. We're going into menswear, accessories, so pocket squares and ties coming out of Italy, and we've got shirts coming out of India. So we're really excited for that, and the next sort of few weeks we'll be really busy sort of collecting stock and doing all that sort of thing. But as mentioned, it's passion which brings all of us together, and there's a synergy definitely between Lantandra and Button Brothers, and we are from the same country, so we stick.
We stick. And because I am their neighbor, I will stick. Can I stick? I'll stick. I can stick. So anyway, thank you so much, guys. I know it's a very busy night ahead. I will let you go, and I will see you out there.
Thank you.
Beautiful show. Yay.
Tell them say we have a bag of goons in the area. When they see we step in, them a bow like Maria. Jakuna guitar, jedu jakuna guitar. Kunge fireman moto takubatita. Jakuna guitar, jedu jakuna guitar. Kunge zesa mageti takabakita. Jakuna guitar, ka jedu jakuna guitar. Kunge fireman moto takubatita. Jakuna guitar.
Are you wearing the Diva Headwrap mode? There you go. Don't put too much jewel, run for it. DJ, send it something.
Chef Stolley, how far are you? What's going on?
Right now, I got the porterhouse curing in some salt and sugar, and I'm just preparing the spices ready for the meat.
Wow. Okay, well, you keep doing that, and we are going to go back to the tent to meet my next guest. We are still having fun and talking fashion today, and now I'm joined by the beautiful Faro Musodza, who is a model, and she's also a mother, and she's very much active in the community working with young people. Welcome, Faro.
Thank you for having me.
Let me start with the fashion side of things. How important is fashion in your life and identity and all that? What role does it play?
You know what, when I got into modeling, which is my background, I never thought of it as fashion, because around of the time when I started, you could do everything. So you could be a runway model, you could do commercial, prints, catalogs, everything. So to me, it's more interesting about, working with creative people, bringing pieces together, and just creating something new, all the time, and seeing the evolution of it.
Yeah.
So I suppose that's why I'm in fashion, and that's what I find interesting. What you can create, it's endless.
Yeah. And you started modeling when you were very young, 14 years old. I mean, it's kind of normal, but it's quite young when you look back and think about that. Were there any challenges, though, being that young in that kind of fast-paced, a lot of people, a lot of grown-ups, with deadlines and all those sorts of things in place, being a 14-year-old?
Honestly, I felt very shielded by my mother, because she, being African from Zimbabwe, they instilled in us that, education is everything. Yeah. So there was no way I was going to go to a shoot during school time. I had to be in school and do school, and then during the holiday, maybe do a few jobs here and there, but that was it.
Wow.
So I only started modeling properly full-time, I think, when I came to Australia. I did a few gigs before I left Zimbabwe, but until I came to Australia, that's when I started fully doing it without having, mom saying, you gotta go to school, you're not going anywhere.
Should I be going to modeling? Should I call mom and check? Or?
Yeah. I still call her, but
like, Mom, I'm from modeling. I didn't go to school.
Yes.
No, but that's really cool. And besides modeling, you're very active in the community. Can you tell me the work that you do with young people?
Look, I've been very lucky to meet, the social studio. It's a social enterprise.
Everyone knows the social studio.
Yes, it works with refugees and people from immigrant communities.
Yeah.
So it's through them that they found that, it's very important. Like, I feel it's very important for the youth to see someone like me working, and be able to, see themselves and be able to do something similar, or if they're passionate about it, or even different avenues.
What do you do when you're talking to them?
It's more like a big sister who has had those experiences.
Right.
So when they ask me that, oh, look, I want to do modeling, they're saying I need to lose weight, but, I still want to eat cake. Like, okay.
Who doesn't?
Well, you can't do Runway if that's the case.
Yeah, and then you kind of show them.
Yeah, because modeling can be really brutal, when you start out, because I've had that issue myself. I've been told that, oh, look, you're not too tall, so you need to at least lose weight. And I think I absolutely love my figure.
I love your figure.
Way.
Don't lose weight. You're fine.
So I'm thinking, I don't know if, it's something that I want to do, and I don't know if it's as lucrative as other things that I'm thinking about. So I didn't feel the pressure to change. So that's what I try to instill in them, that, look, don't feel the pressure to, to let people tell you what to do or to change you so much that you actually lose your self-identity.
Yeah, and also I know you're very vocal about, diversity in the modeling industry, in editorials and runways, and tell me a little bit about, your passion about that area of things.
Well, it's, like I said, it's representation, because we've had an influx of immigrants into Australia, and I think it's important for these young women coming, or the young girls and boys, to see people that look like them and not feel... I mean, imagine you're a young girl and you're watching TV and you see a beautiful, maybe Jennifer Hawkins or Megan Gale, and they've got beautiful flowing hair. And then I feel like a lot of them, they end up emulating that. That's when they start wearing weaves, wigs and everything, because they feel that's the look, that's the beauty. So seeing someone like myself, I'm wearing my afro hair, I'm proud in, the way I look, the way I carry myself, the fullness of my hips. I think that's what needed. It's encouraging for a young woman to see that, to grow up seeing that you know what, she's stunning and she's wearing her own hair. Like, you can wear what you want, that's fine. Yeah. It's only when you end up identifying that that's the true you when it's not.
Yeah, that's right. It's understanding that fine line. I mean, we're not our hair, but at the end of the day, if you want to have straight hair, it's fine. But don't think that's what you need to be in order to become...
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's what's beautiful, because there's many different areas of beauty. We're all beautiful. I know that you're a qualified nurse.
Yes.
And there's a very special story that goes with that, with your son, because you've got a son with special needs. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
I studied nursing, and I think during the half the year, I found out that he was autistic. He was 2 years old. So it just became emotionally too much, because nursing, it's a caring role, which is pretty much the same thing with my son. It's full on 24/7. So in the end, I felt that I'm actually not getting a break from that caring role. So that's when I decided that, I'm just going to dedicate my time to him and look after him and do modeling, because it's more creative.
Yeah.
And that way, I'm not thinking about looking after anyone, but people are looking after me.
What's next for you?
I'm having fun. I'm enjoying what the social studio has managed to create for me, because it's all about equity and equality and diversity, which is absolutely stunning. And also, I've started a new course. I'm designing shoes. Yeah.
Shoes, yes.
I know. So yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
It's the only moment when I'm not thinking about modeling, I'm not thinking about my son, it's just me and my tools, and I'm working at it.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming through.
I appreciate it.
And sharing your beautiful story. Mwah. Thank you.
Thanks.
And now we're going to meet the creator of this amazing crown, Charmaine Idris of Diva Headwraps. For all of you who've been hanging to learn about my crown here, get excited, because Charmaine Idris of Diva Headwraps stopped by at FreekA Runway to have a chat with me. Hi, Charmaine.
Hi, Dorcas.
Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm so excited to be chatting to you.
My pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Now, I see the girls Nawal and Najma have got some beautiful head wraps. Do you want to tell me about their styles?
Of course, because Najma's wearing such a beautiful outfit tonight, I've decided to wrap her hair with my gold embossed design. It's called Juju, and it actually matches the outfit that she's wearing, and it's meant for a more of a going out outfit. Whereas Najma's got a more casual design. What I've decided to do for her was a top knot. That's one of my favorite designs, and she's wearing one of the head wraps from my latest collection as well.
Awesome, and so is mine.
Of course.
Yes, and you did this one for me, and I love it so much.
Yep, it's one of my favorite designs. As you can see, each of us are copying each other.
A little bit.
Yes.
That's awesome. Now, tell me about your relationship with the head wrap.
The head wrap goes way back to my childhood when I grew up in South Africa. Back in South Africa, we actually refer to it as a doek.
I know.
And it was the most popular thing to wear when you had a bad hair day. And not only that, during the apartheid years, having curly and big hair was just not a thing. So covering it up was a lot better. And secondly, I think it actually means a lot to me because of my disability. When I do wear a head wrap, I feel that people actually look at me in a different way. And so I feel empowered when I wear my head wrap.
Awesome. I feel empowered when I wear my head wrap. Thanks to you. And also just the head wrap, these days especially, it's such a powerful statement, and this could be a political statement, a fashion or social. How do you feel, having created Diva head wraps, to be a part of such a movement?
I feel terribly proud and very blessed, particularly in Australia. My market, or the way that I perceive how I'd like to market my head wraps, is to actually embrace the multicultural society that we have here and the very rich diversity that we have in Australia. So head wraps are meant for everyone. My clients come from across the board, and it makes me feel so proud that women of all colors are now able to pick up a head wrap, wear it and say, I feel fantastic. I feel like a queen.
Yes, queen. It's about the queendom. How do you, I know you spent a lot of time in Asia and you learned batik technique.
Yes.
How does that inform, your designs? Because it's so diverse.
Well, when I started Diva head wraps, I actually started my brand with only batik designs. The reason that I liked the idea was because it was a type of fabric that was not incorporated into the head wrap idea, and I then added an African-inspired look to my collection. To actually, I feel Australia is part of the Asia-Pacific region as much as part of Africa, and so now I've managed to actually blend the two, Asia-Pacific and also Africa.
And you do it so well. And have you got a message for anyone who's dying to try a head wrap, but they're just a little bit like, oh, I don't know what to do? What can you tell them?
I would say that one of my memes with my company is to be bold and to be adventurous, and I feel that when you take a head wrap and you put it on your head, you are being adventurous, and so you need to feel that way. Actually, it would highlight the queen that you are, and once you start wrapping your head, I believe that there's no turning back.
Thank you so much, Charmaine, and thank you, girls. You look absolutely gorgeous. Wow, this looks really good, yummy and ready to eat, but usually making a biltong takes way longer than a few minutes, right, Chef?
Yeah, normally it takes at least 3 days, but with the magic of television, we got it here and now.
Ta-da! So we're gonna dig into that, but thank you so much for watching today. I will see you soon, and remember, if you wanna find out about everything that happened at the show today, just jump on our website. Love and light to you.
Slow down on the man. Oh, you never go on here when the trouble won't come. Somebody must stand up and run. With a print is not fear no man with a big bad gun. Man, no shit against her. Type here, shit against her. This is like a one, and no shit can take a text her. Tell him we're not fretting a war when we enter big goal. Open your chest like window. Pano, this I'm a koof quef. Rasta, my dad, I'm a big chef. My ghetto used to the good defender. From my bati, chema, puna rep. Takara, teacher, se pati, no shika. Pano, this I'm a koof quef. Rasta, my dad, I'm a big chef. My ghetto used to the good defender. From where I teach him a puna rep. Takara teaches at the best. My ghetto youth, I can't see me.